Well, we're
Hi Sue, so can you tell us a bit about the protest today on behalf of Unite against universal credit?
We're campaigning as a union nationwide today because universal credit has been set up as a system that's going to make things easier and less complicated, but in fact it's a very complex system. It's not working where it's been piloted. There's been a threefold increase, for example, in food bank usage in those areas where universal credit has been rolled out. It's already applied to new claimants and people whose circumstances change, and it's having disastrous effects, and almost universally means that people are getting less money. The ones that are the most affected, I think, are people with children, single parents, but also people who are on low-paid jobs, who get an income supplement. And because their hours vary, it means an awful lot of pressure is put on them to prove how many hours they've got. And in fact, sanctions will be applied to these people. So the idea of encouraging people, making it worthwhile to get gainful employment, which is what the government is arguing, is a nonsense. Those that are working are going to be told, why have you only got 30 hours this week, why have you only got 20 hours, and they could be sanctioned in the same way as people who aren't looking for work.
So it's not just one aspect of universal credit that's the problem, it's several different aspects that are causing difficulties for recipients.
Yeah, it's replacing all other forms, including for disabled people. They're losing a lot of their benefits to the universal credit, and it's causing a huge amount of anxiety. And of course, the rent arrears are occurring because of late payment. There's a delay in paying the benefits, and in the budget they said that would be changed, but it's not going to be changed in time. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of people worse off immediately, with immediate effect. And at a time when we've got 120,000 children living in temporary accommodation, it gives you some idea of the magnitude of the problem. 7 million people in total will be affected.
And what would you like the government to do? I mean, they've done a U-turn on the phone line that charged people to phone up for assistance. Do you think they could possibly do a U-turn on the whole thing as Labour have proposed?
I think they must do. I think it's just not workable. I mean, and it's really not their intention for it to work in favour of people on benefits. They have this idea that everyone can find employment, whether they're disabled or not, and actually it's not the case. There are people with 2-3 jobs who still can't get sufficient hours to live on. 1 in 5 workers in this country is earning below the living wage, and that is totally unacceptable in the 6th richest economy in the world.
And what would you like the government to do? Are you looking for changes, a reform to the universal credit system, or do you want it to be axed completely and a new system put in place?
I would actually like to axe the government, to be honest. I don't think that we're going to get much from them unless we really organise sufficient pressure for them to give in, as they have done U-turns in the so-called dementia tax, for example. In fact, the first phase of Theresa May's government was full of U-turns. I think it's going to depend on the strength of the Labour movement, organising in the local communities and showing the people that are affected by universal credit that we are prepared to stand with them, that we'll organise and that we will link up with the public sector unions which are entering strike action, because they too are under attack. This budget, the recent budget, has shown the government will do nothing to help ordinary working folk.
And do you plan more protests in the future? I mean, this is going at a time at Christmas as well, and people are going to be more vulnerable than ever with the lack of benefits coming in. Are you going to plan further protests throughout December or in the new year?
Yes, we are, and we're going to try and organise a conference in January where people who are concerned about the introduction of universal credit in Gloucester, it starts in February here, that they can come to us and we will help them. We will help them through the appeals process, and we will organise politically as well as a union.
That's great, Sue. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Thank you.